The fabric wasn't silk or synthweave, not exactly. It was grown, bioresponsive polymer, interlaced with adaptive nanofibers that reacted to the wearer's neural field. It shimmered faintly in the low light of the habitat module, shifting color in slow, nervous pulses, like it already sensed her hesitation. Mara stood on the other side of the room, arms crossed, jaw tight. The air between us felt heavier than vacuum. "You shouldn't have brought it here," she said. "This is the only place it would work," I replied. "And the only time." Her eyes flicked to the door, then back to me. Then, without another word, she stepped past the dress, past me, and slammed the door shut. The lock engaged with a sharp, metallic click. I exhaled slowly. That wasn't how I'd imagined this moment ending. But then again, nothing about humanity's first contact with the Varelian Concord had gone according to plan. Beginning. 10 years earlier, humanity had been a minor curiosity on the galactic stage, loud, stubborn, innovative, and dangerously unpredictable. We were tolerated, not respected. Our world sat at the edges of trade routes, our fleet small, our technology considered, aggressively inefficient. The Varelians changed everything. They were tall, elegant beings of crystal-veined flesh and refractive skin, their society built on ritualized symbolism. To them, words mattered less than presentation. Clothing, posture, color, and motion were language. Entire treaties were negotiated through ceremonial displays before a single syllable was spoken. And humanity failed spectacularly. Our diplomats offended them within minutes. Wrong colors, wrong spacing, wrong gestures. One ambassador accidentally challenged a Varelian matriarch to a duel by crossing his legs the wrong way. War didn't break out. Worse. The Concord labeled humanity incoherent, a species incapable of participating meaningfully in galactic civilization. Trade embargoes followed. Travel restrictions. Scientific isolation. A slow, bureaucratic suffocation. That's when Project Mirror was born. The idea was simple and insane. If the galaxy spoke in symbols, humanity would answer in kind, but with our own strength. We would learn their language of presentation, not to submit, but to redefine the rules. I was a xenosemiotic engineer. I didn't build weapons. I built meaning. And Mara Cade was the key. She was human, yes, but genetically optimized for neural empathy. Her brain could map and interpret symbolic structures faster than any AI we built. She didn't just understand alien culture. She felt it, which was why the dress mattered. Middle. The dress wasn't just clothing. It was a translator between human identity and Varelian perception. Every thread carried encoded narratives, human history, struggle, adaptability, defiance. It didn't tell a story. It projected one, tuned to Varelian sensory modalities. To them, Mara wouldn't appear as a fragile primate in foreign cloth. She would appear as a living symbol of humanity. And that terrified her. "They'll see everything," she said earlier, before the door locked. "Our wars, our mistakes, our violence. They'll also see our survival," I said. "Our compassion, our refusal to disappear." That's not the part that scares me. I understood what she meant, even if she hadn't said it aloud. The Varelians valued harmony above all else. Humanity's defining trait wasn't harmony. It was endurance, adaptation, the ability to walk into impossible situations and change them. If the Concord truly understood us, they might not reject us. They might fear us. The summit was hours away. If Mara didn't step onto that stage wearing the dress, humanity's final appeal would fail. The Concord would finalize our classification as a non-participatory species. A polite extinction. I stood outside the locked door, listening to the faint hum of the station's life support. "Mara," I said quietly, "you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be human." Silence. Then, finally, the lock disengaged. The door slid open. She stood there, eyes steady now, fear replaced with something sharper. Resolve. "Help me put it on," she said. The dress flowed around her like liquid starlight, responding instantly to her neural patterns. Colors deepened. Shapes emerged, fractals echoing human cities, migrations, starships, scars. She looked powerful. When we entered the Concord Hall, the Varelians fell silent. Their skin refracted light in patterns of shock and confusion. The matriarchs leaned forward. Symbol priests stiffened. Mara stepped onto the central dais. The dress activated fully. To the Varelians, the air filled with meaning. They saw humanity crawl from caves to stars. They felt the weight of nuclear fire and the restraint that followed. They witnessed our wars, yes, but also our rebuilding. Our relentless curiosity. Our refusal to accept imposed limits. And beneath it all, a core truth burned brighter than fear. Humanity did not seek dominance. But we would never accept erasure. The Concord reeled. One matriarch attempted to sever the projection. Another collapsed, overwhelmed by the density of narrative. Finally, the eldest matriarch spoke, not in words, but in color. Respect. Ending. The Concord's verdict changed that day. Humanity was no longer labeled incoherent. We were reclassified as transformative. A rare designation. Dangerous. Valuable. Trade resumed. Borders opened. Joint projects began carefully. As for Mara, she became something no human had ever been before, a living ambassador, not bound by words or weapons. Months later, back on Earth, I found her standing in the lab again, the dress folded carefully on a table between us. "You were right," she said. "They saw everything." And she smiled faintly. "They still invited us to stay." I nodded. They always would have. They just needed to understand who we are. She touched the fabric gently. "That dress," she said, "was made for all of us." I looked at humanity's reflection in the shimmering threads, flawed, fierce, unyielding. "Yes," I said. "It was." And for the first time in our history, the galaxy looked at humanity not as a mistake to be managed, but as a force to be understood.